wanted to be a serious actor. I studied acting at university, and I was going to be a serious actor. I had no idea. I didn't think it was possible to be a comedian because I knew that comedians talk about their life, and I knew that that was impossible for me to talk about my life. So I thought I have to keep my life secret. So I thought that's impossible. So I was going to be an actor. I was going to be James Dean. I was going to be a serious actor. But I was going to be funny on talk shows. That was my plan. I was going to go, man, he's so dramatic. And then when he goes on Carson, he kills. That was my dream. Wow. And then I went to university, and I got kicked out of school in my final year because I was always funny in serious things. I'd be doing Coriolanus or Henry V, and I would be like, funny. And they were like, this is Shakespeare, this is Coriolanus, this is not a funny play. And then I got thrown out of school, kicked out of school my final year because of discipline. And then
what do you mean discipline?
Well, I acted out a lot.
Oh, okay.
Every improv I did turned violent. And in those days, we all wore tights, so there was a lot of bruised balls. And plus, I hadn't come out yet, so I was acting out everywhere. And all the men were in tights. I was out of my mind. That is when I realized that that was the outfit for me. First, I never felt sexy until I put on a pair of tights and a cape, and I went, wow, this works for me. And I just don't get a lot of chance to, to work that outfit. I mean, there aren't that many fetish balls for tights and capes. But, and then I started doing theater, acting, but I was extremely unsuccessful. And then I thought, well, I would do stand-up. So I started doing stand-up, but I wasn't even out of the closet yet. I wasn't, but I guess I read really gay. And can you believe it? Luckily, I've learned to nip that in the bud. I read very, very straight. And I started doing stand-up, but the comedians all knew, and it wasn't like it is today. And like a gay guy was basically the lowest thing going, and every joke was about how horrible it would be terrible to be gay. And so all the comedians would introduce me like, they'd always say that I'd given them head backstage, whether I had or not. Usually not, because most comedians are straight, which I found out sadly. I went, I should have stayed an actor, where a third of them are fags. The only gay ones in comedy are women. So, well, yeah. But,
I wasn't straight.
I know.
And then I started doing stand-up, and I wasn't in control of my gifts at the time. So someone called me a faggot, and I jumped on their table and knocked their beer off and got into a fight.
Wow, macho.
Yeah. I was that kind. And then they waited for me afterwards. None of the comedians even really defended me. It was like, well, you are. So, well, I haven't even told you yet. And the blowjob sort of gave it away. And then I quit after that. I said, I can't handle this. It's too, the atmosphere in clubs is too rough. And then I saw...
Because of you, it's too rough.
The audiences were afraid of me. That is true. And then so I stopped that, and then one night I went to a midnight show, the kids in the hall, and a friend said there's this group performing. They've just come from out west, and they're doing a midnight show, and she brought me to see it, and it was like love at first sight. And I saw them on stage, and I said to my friend, I'm going to be in that group. And she goes, you don't even know them yet. And I go, yeah, but they need me. And that was it. That was it. I had like a laser focus after that. And I made myself friends with them. And then I started doing improv. And then I realized that, I have a bag of wigs and dresses. And then they used to watch me perform. And I was notorious for being out of control. And so they asked me to do a show with them one day, and I brought my bag of wigs and dresses, and I became indispensable. And within 6 months, I was in the group, and that was it. And then once I was in, I took the key, swallowed it, and that was it. Nobody else was getting it.